In the Bible, there were examples where Naaman is an example. He was told to go into the what when he had leprosy?
Water.
He was told to go in the water. And we know that the man was at the pool of Shiloh, right? Yes. We see many instances in the Word of God where water was used as a remedy. So we are told to use simple treatments without drugs. Paulson Collection 31.5. Curing disease by the application of water. Today's topic is water treatments, hydrotherapy, and other hygienic remedies. That's reviewed in Herald, February 20, 1866. There is a work to be done in treating the sick with water. So is there a work to be done with us using water?
Yes.
Spalding and McGann, 137, paragraph 2. Pure air, sunlight, abstemiousness, rest, exercise, proper diet, the use of water, not just internally, but externally. The use of water, trust in divine power. These are the true remedies. Every person should have a knowledge of nature's remedial agencies and how to apply them. Ministry of Healing 127, paragraph 2. In health and sickness, pure water is one of heaven's choicest blessings. Its proper use promotes health. So the disuse will promote what? Sickness, disease, problems, sickness. Now it says pure water. What kind of water did we learn her to use? Soft water. Our people should become intelligent in the treatment of disease, of sickness. Now, how did we learn through this series that we become intelligent?
By studying our books.
By reading our books. Without the aid of poisonous drugs, many should seek to obtain the education that will enable them to combat disease in its various forms by the most simple methods. Water treatments, wisely and skillfully given. So how are we to give water treatments? Okay, you can't just put somebody in a hot bath. We really shouldn't be giving really too many hot baths. She doesn't talk about hot baths, but maybe once or twice, and the doctors maybe once or twice. But people are sticking people in a hot bath, and a lady gave herself a hot bath out of Venice and wound up in the hospital with brain damage. We have to wisely and skillfully give these. Okay? May be the means of saving many lives. Let diligent study. What kind of study? Diligent study be united with careful treatments. So in order to be wise and skillful, you need to diligently study. Amen? Okay.
Are you giving a handout for this?
Should you say?
Oh, yes, I'm going to email it to everyone. Let prayers of faith be offered by the bedside of the sick. Medical Ministry, page 57, paragraph 1. The external application of water is one of the easiest and most satisfactory ways of regulating the circulation of the blood. So what is one of the easiest ways of circulating the blood? And guess which is the best way to do it? Put them in a warm bath. Immerse the whole body warm. Perfect health depends upon perfect circulation. Ministry of Healing 237.1, Healthful Living 178.1. We answer our own prayers by using remedies within our reach. Water wisely applied. How do we apply it?
Wisely.
Is a most powerful remedy. It's more powerful than herbs. We are to use every blessing God has placed within our reach for the deliverance of those in danger. But many have never learned by experience the beneficial effects of the proper use of water. Now, what kind of use? So there's an improper use, right? Just like the doctors were using ice on the head for fevers. Sister White said the Lord showed her that's a no-no. Water treatments are not appreciated as they should be and to apply them skillfully requires work that many aren't willing to perform. You know, when I was growing up, everybody had a bathtub. Now bathtubs are becoming obsolete in a lot of new homes. They're just putting showers. That's a no-no. We want to get back to the bathtubs. And he tells us the size. The bathtub should be like 6 feet.
Yeah, it's huge.
6 feet long, 20 inches wide, and like 18 or 20 inches, 19 inches high. I was like, wow.
No, it's
My
huge.
bathtub home is only 4.5 feet. I mean, did you have men who are 6 feet, 6 feet too?
Yeah.
And yes. Can you imagine a 6'4" man trying to get into a 4.5 foot bath? None should feel excused for ignorance or indifference on the subject. There are many ways in which water can be applied to relieve pain and check disease. So, what does water do? 2 things. Relieves pain and checks disease. All should become intelligent in its use in simple home treatments. So how many of us in here should become intelligent?
All of us.
Now, can we be intelligent if we don't read?
Sure.
If you just listen to a medical missionary teach you and you don't go and read, can you become intelligent? That's Ministry of Healing 237, paragraph 2. Mothers especially should know how to care for their families in both health and sickness. What power there is in water. What power there is in water. And Natural News came out with an article a couple years ago, it's in the document, that there's all these benefits they're finding out in water therapy. We call it hydrotherapy, right? Water means hydro means water. It says the Lord has taught us that great efficacy for healing lies in a proper use of water. These treatments should be given. Second Selected Messages, 288, paragraph 1. The Lord has provided antidotes for diseases in simple plants. He can use water and sunshine and the herbs which he has caused to grow in healing maladies brought on by indiscretion or accident. So can water treatments be used for accidents? If somebody gets all banged up and wrapped around a tree, can you use water treatments? Most definitely you can. That was Second Selected Messages, 289, paragraph 2. When Edson and Willie were very sick, we first prayed earnestly to God that he would rebuke the disease and heal them. Then did we feel relief from doing everything in our power for their recovery? No. We worked most vigorously using God's own remedies. We applied water in various ways. 19 Manuscript Release, page 227, paragraph 1. Now, these are some very important key things to keep in mind, and it's good to write them down because when you write and you read and you hear, it really sticks. Number 1, know the diagnosis of your patient. Don't just guess. You need a diagnosis to know what you're treating them for. Now, if it's just aching muscles, you know. Number 2, keep patients covered at all times when doing these treatments. We want to protect their, what's the word I'm looking for?
Modesty?
Yes, dignity, modesty. We don't want to expose them unnecessarily. Number 3, be gentle on the elderly because their skin can break very easily. Many of the elderly have very thin skin. You don't want to rub too hard. You want to rub lightly. And many times for the elderly, don't use washcloths or anything. You just use your hand. Okay? Number 4, keep an eye on any reaction they may have. We're going to find out that Epsom salt is a no-no for bath water.
Oh.
It's contrary to our health message. Many people have gotten very sick because of it. Many people have fainted. Many people have, like I recommended it to a friend one time, and she said it made her so sick, and she started to shake. Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked. But then when I started to read our books, like How to Live, and Dr. Mary Kellogg's books, we're not to use these things. We're just to use soft water. The exception to the rule is charcoal powder. But you're only to use soft water. You won't need anything else. Yes. Yes, I know that sounds so shocking. I was shocked as well. Huh?
How do you know if they have in their home?
You get it tested. You send it to the water company or have them come out. They do it for like a few dollars.
I mean, if you're doing it in their home, you have to have their water tested.
No, what you can do is I use a shower filter, and then I let the water run through the shower into the tub. Yes.
In someone else's home.
Yeah, you can bring one and screw it to the sink. They even have the filters now that you can screw onto the faucet.
Oh.
There's a way you can put it on the faucet, and when the water runs through, it's filtering the water before it hits the tub. There's all kinds of neat things they have today. You just go to Lowe's or a water company or look online. Okay. Men are to treat men and women are to treat women. Check the temperature of the water. Oh, I forgot my thermometer today. I have that wooden thermometer and I didn't bring it today. Always have a water thermometer with you. And you get that from Hopkins Medical Supply. They're like $10 or $9. Yes, always have one. I have one for my home and I have one for my missionary kit. Pray before doing any treatment. Now, the book How to Live, Sister White says we should all read to learn how to cook vegetables properly. We learned that this past week. In this book, she wrote 6 articles. She's the one who put the book together. She compiled all the articles. Her husband also wrote articles for it. And she placed in the book articles written by other doctors that the Lord showed her were close to what He was trying to teach. In this book are many remedies for water treatments. So in the document, the link will be provided. And when you click the link, these are the pages, 47 through 53 and 68 through 72. Only 10 pages total. 10, 11 pages. 47 through 53 and 68 through 72. Now, to learn, to read where Sister White talks about this book and she put it together, and that she did not get her information on the health work from any doctor. God gave her all of it. She didn't read one doctor's book until she was done writing out what the Lord showed her. That's in 3 selected messages. Page 276, paragraph 1 to 277, paragraph 3. Now, we're going to talk about this book written by Dr. Mary Kellogg. He was John Harvey, Dr. John Harvey's older brother. He was a man Sister White highly regarded in the medical missionary work. This book contains many water treatments. However, those things with medicinal ingredients in here should not be used. Because this came out in like 1867 or 65, right after we got the health message. So he wasn't 100% on everything. And then the prophet later tells us, in the book How to Live, when it came out, it said not to use those things. Okay? In How to Live, we already went over that. We're counseled not to add anything to the water, but use only soft water. This is from pages 5 to 6 of the actual document, pages 9 to 10 on the PDF to see all the treatments listed in the table of contents. We'll be going over that in a little bit. Okay, so if you have the link which is on the document for this book. Pages 115 through 196 covers the water treatments. If you have the book, which is only $12.99 on the Amazon, and it's called The Hygienic Family Physician, and we're counseled to read this book, okay? This is the first book I recommend people read, besides Dr. John Harvey Kellogg's book, first book in physiology and hygiene. I tell people to read that one first and this one second. Now, the water treatments in this book are pages 33 through 50. 33 through 50. Okay, 33 through 50. And we're going to be talking about the water table for temperatures in just a moment. Now, there's another book that I did not know of when I put this document together, and it's called The Uses of Water in Health and Disease. The Uses of Water in Health and Disease by Dr. John Harvey Kellogg. If I don't give you a name of a book, you don't need it, okay? Because he has another thick water book, you don't need that. This one is sufficient. Okay, this one is really, really good. And it talks about how to decrease high blood pressure and different problems. A heart rate that's going really high, it gives you the information in here, which is really good. And we'll be covering some of that, huh?
Where do we get that book?
Online.
Also?
Yes, Amazon sells it, different books. You just type in the name of the book on Google, and you'll see where you can purchase it.
Use of water, and what was the name?
The Uses of Water in Health and Disease.
The other one's family physician.
Hygienic Family Physician. The Hygienic Family Physician. The first one is by Dr. Mary Kellogg. The second one is by Dr. John Harvey Kellogg. They're half brothers. Okay? I'm going to give you 5 places where you get water treatments. Those 2 books, The Spirit of Prophecy, which I will be having quotes on water treatments in the document we'll be talking about, and then the Natural Remedies Encyclopedia, 7th edition. 7th edition, you can get that from Harvest Time Books. You guys seen it? It's like, looks like a Thomas Kincaid painting on the cover of the book. It's beautiful. So, pages 211 to 275.
I sell those books.
Okay.
But I'm not.
7th edition is page 211 to 275. 5th edition is page 153 to 211. Basic things to know about hot and cold water treatments. The 7th edition is pages 211 to 214. The 5th edition is pages 153 to 156.
The name of that was?
This is the Natural Remedies Encyclopedia.
Oh, so okay.
153 to 176.
156.
153.
153 to 156. Special cautions regarding hydrotherapy, 7th edition, pages 214 to 216 and 209. 5th edition, pages 156 to 163. Chart for hot and cold water treatments, 7th edition, page 217. 5th edition, page 164. Now, I don't remember what their table is, but it needs to be sticking close to the tables in these 2 books. So, Dr. Mary Kellogg, he gave us a table first. So in this book, to know what's hot, cold, cool, warm, page 37 in the green book. I don't know what page on the link, but it's under the water treatments, and you'll see the chart, because here it is right here. So, on his book, he says cold bath is 32 to 65 degrees. A cool bath is 65 to 80 degrees. A tepid bath And a cool bath should only be, cool and cold bath should only be 1 to 2 minutes maximum. A tepid bath, which is also called a neutral bath. Sister White uses the terminology neutral. 80 to 92 degrees. So what do you need to know what temperature your water is?
Because you gotta know what kind of bath you have.
But what do you need to know what temperature your water is? You need your bath thermometer. You get it from Hopkins Medical Supply. There, it's the best because it's wood, and it's excellent. Okay, and that the neutral or tepid bath should be no more than 10 to 15 minutes. A warm bath, 92 to 98 degrees. And that should be 30 to 40 minutes.
30 to 40.
Yes. And a hot bath is 98 to 115 degrees. And that is very seldom used. Maybe 3 occasions you would use that bath. Okay, now that's from Dr. Mary Kellogg. Let's see what Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, because they vary just a little bit, not too much. So in Dr. John Harvey Kellogg's book, The Uses of Water and Health and Disease, he gives the chart on page 38. Cold is 33 to 60. And how long should they be in the cold bath?
1 to 2 minutes.
Okay. Cool is 60 to 70. How long should they be in a cool bath? 1 or 2 minutes. Temperate. He has temperate and tepid. Temperate is 70 to 85. Tepid, which is also neutral, is 85 to 92.
Wait, what was the other one?
Temperate is 70 to 85. I told you, temperate is in this book. It's not in the other book. This is something new. He added something.
What was temperate?
Tepid is 85 to 92 in his book. Warm is 92 to 98. And hot is 98 to 112.
What was warm?
92 to 98, same as Merrick Kellogg's. Hello?
Hot. It's 98 to 112.
Okay. So, water treatment terminology in the Encyclopedia of Natural Remedies. In the 7th edition, page 218. It's very good to know this information and get yourself large index cards and write this down.
What is it?
The 5th edition is page 164 to 165. The different water treatments explained in that book, 7th edition, pages 219 to 221. And the 5th edition is pages 166 to 168. Then the water therapy demonstrations, they show you lots of pictures. In the 7th edition is page 222 to 268. And the 5th edition is 169 to 205. Enemas, irrigations of the ear, nose, and throat, and douches. 7th edition, pages 268 to 271. So if someone has wax buildup or they can't hear, it'll show you how to do an ear irrigation. 5th edition is pages 204 to 207. So do we have a lot of reading to do?
Yep.
Okay. Water treatment temperature table, 7th edition, page 271. Make sure it lines up with these two books. And the 5th edition, page 207 to 208. And then the disease index. So if they have diabetes, it tells you to use this water treatment. If they have arthritis, it tells you to use this water treatment. And his book as well. Look at his book first and foremost. Look at arthritis and see, because all his treatments are water. See what he says first and foremost before you look at this book. Okay? So the disease index for water treatment, 7th edition, pages 273 to 275. And 5th edition, pages 209 to 211. If any of the treatments in the above book or following videos contradict that which is in the previous books listed, disregard the treatments in the natural remedies encyclopedia. However, if there aren't any treatments already listed and are not in contradiction of what the prophet says or what these doctors have written, then feel free to use them. So, in the document, you'll find 14 demonstrations of water therapy. And there's a link that you go to, and you'll be able to watch all the videos. They did them at Harvard. They did these at Harvard. Okay? It's a husband and wife team. And you'll be able to recognize them by the way they're dressed. So, what type of ways may water treatments be given according to the spirit of prophecy? And this is in your handout, so I'm not going to give all the references. If anyone is watching and they would like to give this handout, they can just contact me. So, hot water fomentations. What is a fomentation? Fomentation. This is the fomentation. Okay? Where you're just applying it over your area. Okay? Cold compresses. Oh, I know what I forgot. I forgot the sheet. Cold compresses, hot compress. So what's a compress? Something you apply to the area and you put pressure, okay? And you can even secure it in the area. Experimenting in drugs is a very expensive business. Paralysis of the brain and tongue is often the result. And the victims die an unnatural death because they have been treated perseveringly with unrelaxed diligence. So we have to persevere unweariedly and unrelaxed diligence with hot and cold water, hot compresses, and caps. A dripping sheet. So a cold sheet wrap is better than any chemotherapy. It's the best thing you can use on people detoxing from tobacco, caffeine, alcohol, or drugs, including medicinal drugs like morphine and things like that. So what you do is you get a basin of water, you have them stand in their birthday suit, shower, and you have a bucket of very cold ice water. Okay? And you want to lay on the bed, you want to lay a shower curtain or the liner. You get it for $1 at the Dollar Tree 99-cent store. So you need a liner, shower liner for water treatments, and a wool blanket. And it doesn't have to be real thick. So you're going to lay that on the bed, the shower curtain first, then the wool blanket. Why are we using a shower liner? That's right, to keep the bedding from getting wet. Very good. So when they're in the shower and they're not with the clothes, you have them put their arms up. In this bucket, you're going to have a folded sheet. And I like to fold it triangular and put the corner point up because it's very easy to just do like this. And you put it in the water, the ice water. You wring it out. It's still in the triangular shape. You pull it like this, and then you bring it to them, and you have their arms up, and you start wrapping the body. When you wrap it once, and you need like a queen or a king, depending on the size of the person, because you're going to wrap them several times. A twin sheet, no matter how skinny the person is not enough. So when you wrap it the first time, they put one arm down. When you wrap it the second time, you have them put another arm down. Then you wrap them fully. Then they're going to scurry over to the bed. They're going to lay on it. You wrap them with those covers. You put a cold rag on their head, and you give them water to drink. Elevate, make sure they have a pillow underneath, and you leave them like that for 1 hour. Use a white sheet. It's very good, and you'll see the tobacco. It'll discolor. You'll see the drugs. You smell it. It works great. When I quit smoking, this is one of the things I did for myself. Yes, it's excellent. Okay.
what, 1 hour?
1 hour. The water therapy, the half bath, the plunge, the cold sheet pack, which is what I just told you, fomentations, bathing, okay? Persons in health should on no account neglect bathing. And she's not talking about the shower. She's talking about where you're immersed in a bathtub. They should be, by all means, bathe as often as twice a week and frequently even more than this if necessary. Whether a person is sick or well, respiration is more free and easy if bathing is practiced. So we need to be utilizing our bathtubs. By it, the muscles become more flexible. The mind and body are alike invigorated. The intellect is made brighter and every faculty becomes livelier. The bath is a soother of the nerves. It promotes general perspiration, quickens the circulation, overcomes obstructions in the system. So what if they have clogged ducts or clogged kidneys, blockage? Bathing is wonderful. The kidneys and urinary organs. Bathing helps the bowels, stomach, and liver, giving energy and new life to each. It makes them have new life, these organs. It also promotes digestion, and instead of the system being weakened, it is strengthened. Instead of increasing the liability of cold, a bath properly taken. So a bath, how taken? Properly taken, fortifies against cold because the circulation is improved and the uterine organs, which are more or less congested, are relieved. For the blood is brought to the surface and a more easy and regular flow of blood through all the blood vessels is obtained. Testimonies, Volume 3, page 70, paragraph 1. She says a cold or cool bath is an excellent tonic. Warm baths, neutral baths, Turkish baths, and sitz baths. Now in this book, in his book, he has hot and cold applications, heat and cold to the spine, which she talks about that. Rules, general rules for bathing, temperature. So let's look at some of these rules for bathing. A bath should never be taken when the stomach is actively engaged in digesting food. Remember we learned 1 hour before or 2 hours after eating? Women should not take much treatment during the menstrual period. A cold bath at that time would be very liable to check the menstrual function and might cause serious consequences. A hot bath would be liable to producing hemorrhage. They should have a warm bath for just a few minutes, if any. A bath should never be taken in such a manner as to produce cold feet or headache. Always wet the head with cool or cold water before taking any bath. You're always supposed to wet the head before any type of bath, even a cool or cold bath. Never bathe when the body is greatly fatigued. All general baths should be given briskly, and the bather himself should rub vigorously. You're supposed to do this in the tub. So these are rules. I'm not going to go through all of them, but both of these books have several rules. Okay, and then he has the sponge bath, how to bathe infants and children, the full bath, half bath, shallow bath, sitz bath, foot bath, spray bath, dripping sheet, wet sheet, dry sheet, rub, douche bath, cataract douche, pale douche, hose douche, ascending douche, drop bath, plunge bath, wet sheet pack, dry pack, hand pack, lay pack, chest wrapper, wet girdle, wet compress, wet head pack. Sister White talks about these. The leg bath, the head bath, the arm bath. Somebody's blood pressure is super duper high, You don't give them a hot foot bath, you give them an arm bath. So they can learn, yes. If it's over 180, you do not give them a hot foot bath, you give them a warm arm bath. Yes. Okay.
Use the warm for that.
So when you go to the back section of this book, read, it'll tell you how to apply it, how it's used. Yes. Okay. Now, bathing helps. Respiration more freely, muscles become flexible, mind is invigorated, body is invigorated, intellect is made brighter, every faculty becomes livelier, nerves are soothed, perspiration is promoted, circulation is quickened, obstructions overcome, kidneys and urinary organs are benefited, bowels are energized, and new life is given to them. Stomach is energized, new life is given. Liver is energized, and new life is given. Digestion promoted, strengthens the system, fortifies against colds. Circulation is improved. Uterine organs are relieved of any congestion. So if they're having painful cycles, their blockage, put it in a tub. A regular flow of blood through all the vessels is obtained. Is that amazing or what? Water treatments use the best remedies for restoring the sufferer to health. Loma Linda Messages, page 78, paragraph 5. Now we're going to listen to some remedies for different ailments in the spirit prophecy. Okay? A badly cut foot. We learned a messenger had come for Sarah to see if she could come to see a suffering boy who had stepped in a hole where there was a broken bottle and had cut his foot fearfully. It was so bloody and so deep. She went in the house for flannel fomentation cloths. You can use whitewash cloths. Okay? It's kind of hard to find flannel very freely today, unless you go to a fabric store. So you could use cotton washcloths. And Vaseline and several necessary articles with which to work. Don't let people tell you we should not use Vaseline. Vaseline can be used in medicinal work. Okay? Turned her course and was away again. She found a very aggravated case. It had been hurt 2 weeks, was fearfully cut, and proud flesh was revealed. She went to visit the suffering boy with the cut foot. She greatly feared at first that he would lose his limb, but by working with it twice a day for hours. How many times a day? Twice. For hours. This boy is threatening to have gangrene and lose his foot. With hot compresses. That's why we're going to show you a hot foot bath for gangrene. The pain was removed. 2 days later, Ellen White reported that he was recovering. After effectively treating the badly foot for 10 or 12 days, twice a day for hours for 10 or 12 days. So there's some work involved. This prevented tetanus from setting in. Sarah allowed the boy to return home with the understanding that she would go see him once a day as long as it was necessary. So after the 12 days, twice a day for hours, she went once a day. Now we have things like that pine sap. I can feel it very good. Okay? And that was found in biography number 4, page 329, paragraph 7 to 330, paragraph 5. Here's bleeding from a bank cut head. Sister White arose at 4 o'clock in the morning and stooping down to get her socks, she struck her forehead just above the eye on the bedpost. When I read that, I said, oh, because sometimes I think like I'm being punished because I hurt my foot or something. The prophet banged herself when she got up. She banged her head, and the blood came forth freely in large drops. She called her nurse, and they fomented the wound with hot water bandages, wet in the hot water, and applied as hot as I could bear them. The pain was relieved. The blood ceased to flow. You would think cold water, hot water, and applied as hot as I could bear them. and a court plaster was applied after having a cold bandage applied to finish the treatment. So you finish it with cold water. And what's a court plaster?
What?
A court plaster. Something to seal it so that pine pitch will be good. Yes, a type of plaster. How much suffering might be spared if all would become intelligent in regard to these simple remedies? I thank the Lord for intelligence in these things, to know how to treat ourselves without depending on physicians. We need to exercise our own facilities to understand what to do in an emergency, and then we should impart this knowledge to others. So do we need to know what to do in an emergency? Now, this lady was in a carriage, and it was icy this day, and the carriage was about to go over the cliff, so they had to jump. Her skirt got caught, and she hit her head on the ice. She bled from her eyes, her ears, and her nose. Now, when you're bleeding from your ears, what is that a sign of? Brain damage. Immediate. A lady was passing by, one of the highest teachers in Battle Creek. It was icy. She didn't know how to drive, and neither did her husband, and the sleigh slipped and jerked the line. That's like driving on ice with the car today, right? The line's right out of their hands. Jump, jump, said the husband. She jumped and was caught right on the side of the sleigh and struck her head on the ice, and the blood poured out of her ears, her nose, and eyes. And they thought it would be impossible to save her life. But we gathered her up, took her into the house. We said we will take care of her, but it is a question of how long she can live. There must be no noise. So when there's brain damage, no noise. Around anywhere. It may be possible we can save her life. The doctor was sent for, and when he said, "What are you doing?" we said, "We're giving her a hot foot bath right under the bedclothes." Whenever there's bleeding in the head, hot foot bath. Stroke, hot foot bath. Hot foot bath. "Well," he said, "you're better than I." Well, we kept her for 4 weeks, and we had all the roosters removed from the neighborhood and every bit of noise excluded, and we succeeded in saving her life. 5 years later, in passing, a woman who looked like the same teacher, when she saw me, she grasped me in her arms and said, "You saved my life and the life of this child, the only child I have, and I feel so grateful." She's pregnant. Okay, what to do for a broken skull or broken bones. Dear Brother Seneca King, whom we brought to our home with a terrible injury upon the head and face. We took him to our house to die, for we could not think it possible for one with the skull so terribly broken to recover. He was stomped on by horses. But with the blessing of God upon a very gentle use of water, a very spare diet till the danger of fever was past, and well-ventilated rooms day and night. He did not take one grain of medicine from first to last. My husband and I had a most serious case on hand, a case in which the least wrong move would prove fatal. A man had become dizzy while crossing a stream of water. He fell from his carriage and was trampled under the feet of 2 high-spirited horses. This is the same story. He was brought to our house in a partially unconscious condition. His head and face were badly bruised, and his skull was broken. A physician was sent for. He came and said that the man would have some chance for his life if he remained at our house. If he were taken to his own home, he would die, for his wife would indulge him in eating. The physician said that he could trust Elder White and his wife to carry out his orders strictly. For 10 days he was to be kept at the point of starvation. So when they have a broken skull, should they be eating a lot of food? No. Just at this point, his wife appeared, and they did hot to the skull. They did warm. Just at this point, his wife appeared and concluded that her husband needed nourishing food. Without saying a word to me, she prepared something good as she thought, and when we had left him to rest and sleep, she stole into the room and gave it to him. In a short time, he was in a raging fever, as crazy as a man need be. All hope for his life seemed to have gone. We found out what was the matter, sent his wife home at once. For 2 days we worked unremittingly to save their life. We watched and we worked and we prayed. See, some family members are a hindrance to these people being killed. That was 12 Manuscript Release, page 170, paragraph 2. Water is the best liquid possible to cleanse the tissues. Counsels on Diets and Foods, page 420, paragraph 1. What if someone has cold feet? A lot of people suffer cold feet, right?
Yeah.
Do not sit in a meeting with cold feet. If the feet are cold, wash them in cold water. I would think hot water. Wash them in cold water and then dry them thoroughly. You will find that the blood will thus be called from the head to the limbs. Oh, because the cold, I get it, okay. Second SAT, which is Sermons and Talks, page 142, paragraph 5. When the head is congested, if the feet and limbs are put in a bath with a little mustard, relief will be obtained. And we use condiment mustard and whisk it in. A cough. Coming home, I have taken quite thorough treatment, but my cough has been coming on mornings and sometimes at night. Hot baths have relieved me considerably. Still, I am not well. You will only do a hot bath for a couple minutes. For a couple minutes? Diphtheria, yes, a couple minutes. So these are some examples, and there's more in here. Fever, heart failure, difficulty breathing. For the sake of time, we're not going over all these, but you can watch them. Diphtheria, which was very common in her day. Oh, Sister White's pulse went really low because they went 7,000 feet through the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. She said she couldn't breathe. She felt like she was going to pass out. Opened the window. They said the windows were wide open. So what they had was the pulse was very low. So the porter of the train brought some hot water. Into this, Miss McIntyre put a little peppermint oil, peppermint tea bags, and which with much difficulty got Mrs. White to swallow a few spoonfuls. She vigorously rubbed her hands and arms and feet to get the circulation going. After much delay, bottles of hot water were secured and placed over her heart and at her feet. So why do you put hot water over the heart? If the heart rate is low, less than 55 beats a minute, hot water bottle over the heart and hot water to the feet. It'll raise the heart rate. Right? Because this is where the heart is. Cold water, ice packs if the heart rate is too high. Ice packs around the wrist. So what I do is I will have a little thing of ice water and dip it in there, bring it out. I put them around the wrists, and I put them over the heart, and take like an ice pack out of the freezer. You can do frozen vegetables. I like to do ice. Wrap it in a Ziploc bag, and then put a towel. Yes, that's wonderful. Works great. Okay. In the course of an hour, her pulse began to grow stronger, and as we dropped into the lower altitude, her heart in action increased. An hour later, as we neared Colfax, she had so far recovered as to be able to speak and to hear what we said to her. You know, some people, when we went to the mountains in Big Bear, anyone been to Big Bear?
Yes.
Yes. We went to the ski loft, and I got so lightheaded, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe anymore. And there's a first aid station right there. So they came out. I said, no, I have my stuff to help me breathe. I had the lobelia and the woolly t-shirt. I just asked them for some water. They said 85% of the people who go there, they wind up not breathing and dizzy like I was. So, and the heart rate goes low. So it's good to have your peppermint oil with you when you go high elevation. Amen?
Did you say it was 7,000 feet?
7,000 feet she was in. And that was in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. Okay, now what if you are hungry at night? Should you eat? If you feel you must eat at night, take a drink of cold water, because it constricts the vessels. And in the morning, you will feel much better for not having eaten. So we're going to skip the rest of these, and you can read them on your own. Covers lung problems, hemorrhaging of the lung inflammation, malaria, nervous exhaustion, pain, suffering, scalding from a burn, swelling on the head and brain, swelling on the knee, throat problems, toothache from painful surgery. She did hot fomentations for that. To warm a person up before bed who's been in the cold all day. Weakness. So, those are the things that she covers from the Spirit of Prophecy. Some important things to know. Hands in cold water for too long produces swelling in the necks. The question with us is how these women can keep their hands in ice cold water for hours at a time because they were washing their clothes without injury to their health. Indeed, we are quite inclined to the opinion that this practice is one of the causes of enlarged necks. Cold or ice water not to be used on frail persons. She has tried to vindicate cold and ice water treatment, but I differ with her. There is not strength in that frail body to bear any heroic treatment. And our doctor said, don't do these hot and cold, and all of a sudden you're going into shock. I was taught to do that. We're told not to do that. It causes a lot of people to have a heart attack. Yes. We don't want heroic treatments. We want cool, warm, not anything cold for sick, for frail, weak people. Never. Never cold. Never real hot.
In other words, that drags me.
Right. A strict diet is extremely important for water remedies to work. The use of water can accomplish but little if the patient does not feel the necessity of also strictly attending to his diet. Counsels and diets includes page 304, paragraph 4. Now, what about heating pads? Are they safe? No. There's an article in here, very dangerous. It does something to the electrical current of the body. Now, what about those the rice and rocks and things they put around you? Is dry heat or moist heat better? Moist heat goes all the way down deep into the tissue and down into the bone. Moist heat is the best. There's a really good book by Dr. Charles Thomas. I believe he was an Adventist.
Yeah.
It's called Hydrotherapy, Simple Treatments for Common Ailments. And that's in here. Okay, so now what we're going to do, and you can read the rest of the document. There's a lot more information, but you'll get more from it reading. And what I did is I typed out all of the treatments and the supplies you needed for those 14 videos. Those are all listed on the thing. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this one first. So who's going to be my
Guinea pig.
Okay. Now I don't have all my supplies here, so forgive me. So just get up here and lay down. We're going to put your head, no, right here. Does anyone know what this is for? Oh, underneath. You can also put it under the spine too, for people who need that arch right there. Yes, but it's good for the legs. Is that for the right there? Okay, so she came to me with pneumonia or bronchitis. Okay, so we would have a sheet over them. I would have her remove her top, and then I would have an extra towel over her torso area. Okay? Then what I would do is dish towels. Okay. So I use dish towels. And you can go to the Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store, and they have hand towels and dish towels. You want the plain ones, not the ones with the floral design and stuff. And you can get these for $1 each. And I have a bag this big with many different size towels, and they're lightweight, so they're easy to work. They're a little heavier weight than what I normally use. So I have used the microwave, but I'm trying to stay away from it because it's radiated water that you're putting on a person. But what you get a pot of boiling water, and you want to have rubber gloves. I use the thick ones. You can get them from the Dollar Tree. They have the real thick rubber gloves. And what I do is I dip this in the water. But the towels I use, they're much thinner than this, so they're easy to wring out. And then I take some tongs. So I'll have a towel like this. I'll take the tongs, we have tongs, and then I'll roll it out in the center of the towel. And I'll do it like this, and I'll do it like that. And then I'll lay it directly on her chest, okay? And then I do the same thing for the back. So you're doing one hot in the front and one in the back. And then you cover with a big towel over to keep the heat in. You leave this on for about 10, 11 minutes. Then when you're done, when it's over, now while this is going on, I like to have a worker if they can help me prepare the next one. So we take ice water, I have it here, little bowl, and I put my washcloth in it, and I vigorously rub her. Now, if she's an elderly lady, skin is very thin, you have to be very careful. And I rub the back, but I have her covered while I'm doing this, and then I just go underneath her, okay? You don't want to expose her body. Then you do a freshly new hot one, and you do it 3 times, 3 to 4 times. Keep them covered. You keep a cold rag, that's what I like to say, not ice cold, but cold on the forehead, and you have water for her to drink. And her head would be a little more elevated than us. And you ask her, do you need some water? You feel how your lips feel dry. And I do that in conjunction with the eucalyptus and honey. Remember we made the cough medicine? Remember about the rub for the chest with the peppermint oil and the eucalyptus oil? After we're done, I rub that on her chest and back and the bottom of her feet. Every person I've done this with, the pneumonia is gone the next day. And this is for respiratory problems. Respiratory infection, pneumonia, bronchitis. That's what you do, and that works great. It works wonders. Like, I can't tell you how much this works. And it puts them to sleep, too. Okay, so we're done using you. Thank you. But is that hard? Not at all. Now, can I have another volunteer? Can I use you because your shoe slips off right away? Okay. So, we're doing a hot foot bath on her. We're improvising. We don't really have any water here. So you always have a cool rag around the neck, wet, and one on the forehead. They'll have to hold it. Always. Why do we do this when we do a hot foot bath? So the blood doesn't shoot straight from the head to the feet. Because we do this for fevers, we do this for head congestion, okay? Especially head congestion. you're stuffy, you can't blow your nose, it's stuffy, and you just feel horrible. So this will be hot, and then, okay, so her feet would be soaking, but is it going to cool off? So you have hot boiling water on the stove in a tea kettle. And as it cools off, you simply tell her to move her, not all the way out because you don't want your feet to get cold, to the side, and you pour the hot water and push it with your hand so she doesn't burn herself, and have her to put it back in there.
That's cool.
You do this for about 30 minutes. About 30 minutes.
That's cool to the head.
And you have them drink water. And this keeps the blood, the cold, from coming down so fast. It constricts the blood vessels.
You can work this for water.
No, it pretty much lasts for the 30 minutes. Yes. Unless it's extremely hot, you might have to make it cold again. You don't want it ice cold, just cold. So a hot foot bath. And when you read your books, you'll see what hot foot baths are for. Read both Kellogg's books because they give excellent treatments. Yeah, I can't show you every water treatment because there's hundreds of them for tons of diseases. Okay, there was one other thing I wanted to. So what I was just showing you for the pneumonia, you could do smaller towels. I had a friend, she had sore muscles. So I rubbed peppermint oil and rosemary oil with olive oil, and I rubbed them in her muscle area, and then I put really hot towels over it. And it would get so hot, she's like, I need a barrier. Can you wrap another towel around it? And then as it cools off, I'll take the towel, and so wherever there's muscle pain,
That's peppermint oil, peppermint.
and rosemary. Those are the two best oils for the muscles. Okay?
Keep it up.
Okay, thank you. So those are the two I wanted to show you. Oh, one more. Can you sit down, Suki, again? I'm sorry. Forgive me. There's one more. So it's good to have 2 to 4 of these buckets. Minimum 2. And you can get this from Home Depot. You can get them at Winco. You guys don't have a Winco.
And Walmart too.
Okay, I don't know. They're like $3, $4. It's good to have 2. You want the real sturdy, not the flimsy one.
No, Walmart has them in blue.
Okay, so let's say she has gangrene feet. Okay, so we're going to do hot. Well, let's say it's up to the right here, in the middle of the shin. So we're going to have the hot water immerse her. Now, you should check with your elbow because diabetics, they can't feel it. So make sure it's not, if it's too hot for your elbow, it's too hot for her feet, her legs. You would have golden seal in this water, maybe like a tablespoon mixed in there. And then you do 3 minutes hot. Then you have another ice cold bucket. You do 30 seconds cold, and you do 4 rotations.
Golden seal powder.
Yes. Then when she's done, forgive me, but can I put this on the floor? Oh, okay. You always have a towel underneath your water treatment because water spills, especially when they stick those feet in. Okay? So now we just did the cold. We'll pretend we did the cold. So you have 2 buckets, right? So now you take her feet. We ask her to lift her legs out. And if they're shorter buckets, little shorter, that's good too. Because sometimes they're so hot, it's hard for them to get it out. So what we do is we smack the area. Or if it's a diabetes wound, we smack around it. Why do we do that? You bring the circulation to the area, blood to the area to give it life. Some of these feet are black, okay? And you do this 3 times a day, every day. And you constantly are doing this for them, and it will bring life back to these feet.
That'd be good for like your hands too.
I don't know about varicose veins, to be honest with you. But there are castor oil over varicose veins works. Castor oil.
Oh, really?
But they do talk about it in the doctor's books, what to do for those.
So you said 3 minutes with the hot and 30 seconds with the cold.
Do like 4 rotations, 5 rotations, a couple times a day. Okay? Thank you, Cindy. So, and if you look in the books, look at the pictures, they show you all the different water treatments, but you have to what to become intelligent? Study to show thyself approved unto God, right?
My questions are not yet.
Okay, so, is that simple?
Yes.
It's work. It can get tiresome, especially when you have that heavy bucket of water, you gotta carry it 10, 15 feet. Okay? It can be tiresome. But it's not hard treatments. Okay, so we're going into Q&A. So Ignacio had a question.
So jacuzzis are not good.
No, brother. And they bring down
Jacuzzis.
the sperm count of men.
They're jacuzzis, not hot.
Yeah, they
Why
bring
do I
the sperm count way down. Especially boys. If boys get in jacuzzis at young ages, they have a hard motility rate and they have a hard time getting their sperm count up. It pretty much fries the sperm count.
Now, if I don't have to worry about that,
If you dip in it for a couple minutes before you jump in the cold pool, that's therapeutic. But to sit there for 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour and drink your wine,
Oh, wow.
that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
because we also heard about places that they have those natural hot springs. And
Okay.
people like to go in there.
Yeah, a hot spring is okay, but you don't want to stay in there for a long time. Hot water shouldn't be more than maybe 5 minutes maximum.
So shower, you said that it's very good with cold water, or maybe warm, but not hot.
Right, and ease it to the hot.
Yeah.
Ease it to the cold. Because we'll go hot, cold, and ooh! You can really hurt people doing that.
Yeah.
Those are called heroic treatments. I still do it because it doesn't bother me. I've been doing it for so many years. But you want to be careful doing that with other people.
Many people recommend that, going from the hot to the cold.
Contrast.
Right.
Contrast, yeah.
Yes, you want to work it up from the hot to the cold. You want to work, you're hot, you go down to warm, you go down to cool, then you go to cold. You don't go hot, cold, because that's called a heroic treatment. Remember, we have much to unlearn and much to learn again.
One more question.
Oh, okay.
Not that we do it, but in case we asked, when people go to saunas, and then they go into the snow, the cold thing.
That's very good.
Oh, that is good.
That's very good, yes. Going from the hot to cold is very therapeutic. It's doing a hot and cold treatment. But you don't want to be in there so long. And if you go in a sauna, what do you need to have on your head? A very wet towel. Very cool, not ice, but cool, cold, wet towel. And you want to have water. Okay? Saunas are good. Saunas will make you sweat, lose weight, get rid of toxins, but it's not necessary. You can make a bath or sauna. But if my niece, her husband used to play for one of the top football teams, and when I go to their house, in their house they have a sauna here and a steam room there. So it's nice. If you can use it, use it. I'd be careful with public steam rooms though.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Arthur had a question.
Yeah, I've read a lot of articles that said water births are very beneficial for newborn babies and mothers.
Water what?
Birthing and water.
Water birthing.
Birthing water.
I don't see that in the Bible, and I don't see it in our books. It's connected a lot to spiritualism, and so I look at the way the babies were born in the Bible, and the Bible says the secret things belong to the Lord our God. Those things that are revealed to us belong to us and our children. I don't see water birthing anywhere, so I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it, and it's connected a lot to spiritualism. The whole deep breathing, meditate. Yes.
Yeah, I got two more quick questions.
Okay.
So if a person lives in Woodhawk for quite a while, which is a higher elevation, would that make it more accustomed to higher elevation?
Would that make them what?
Does that make a person more accustomed to being able to live in a higher elevation? Because we're like 4,200 feet here.
Yes, over time, people do get accustomed to something like that, yes.
And I got one more real quick question. Have you heard about the Iceman, Wim Hof? Okay, he's training people to survive extreme cold.
He what?
The Iceman,
No, he did what though?
he has a method that trains the body to be able to handle extreme cold
Okay,
with hardly any clothes on.
okay. I would recommend that. But if it's a technique, if you're getting stuck out and it prevents hypothermia, it might be something good to learn.
Yeah.
Right. But to expose your body deliberately to freezing temperature.
Well, he has a very precise breathing method,
Okay,
and it all works together.
okay.
Very precise.
Once again, we have to remember to get our information from our people in our books. It's very dangerous and foolish. Many people have dove into these ice streams in the wintertime and have died.
Yes.
Yes, many. We have to be very careful not to do foolish things. Like one thing I said I never do is go bungee jumping because knowing my luck, and I don't believe in luck, that cord would snap. Just some things it's just not meant for us to do. Okay?
Yeah, there's too many people doing extreme things nowadays.
Yes, absolutely. Any other questions? Is that it? And you will get the document. When did I say? Give me till when?
Friday.
Yes, give me till next week. Or it's actually this week because we're Sunday. Sunday's the first day of the week, right? That's how this is 7. Not Monday. Monday's not the first day. Okay, any other questions? No questions? Right, because that's all Catholic. You may change your calendars. But you can prove from the Julian calendar, right, and the Bible that Sunday is the first day of the week.
Yes.
And you can prove from the Julian calendar that Jesus did die in 31 AD, and he did die on a Friday. And there's only one group of people in the world who preserve the Julian calendar, and it's the Russian Orthodox. And you can find the Julian calendar online. That was the calendar in the days of Jesus. Julius Caesar, right.
What is Jesus' correct birthday?
Well, we're not given a birthday, but we know it wasn't in Christmas time because the shepherds were out with their sheep.
Yeah, right.
Yes, okay. Okay, we're going to close in prayer. So if you can just bow your head. Lord in heaven, thank you for these water treatments. Thank you for this opportune time to learn that we can check pain and disease with simple water treatments. This has been a lot, Lord. This was our 21st lesson in 2.5 weeks. It's a lot to retain, but you said you would bring it to our remembrance when we need it the most. Please put it into everyone's heart to get the books and to study this information. Thank you for your love and mercy. Give us traveling mercies as we go to our individual homes. Thank you for this beautiful church. Please be with them in continuing to do this work. Put it in every heart of every member and every person who attends here to be involved in the true medical missionary work. We thank you and we praise you. In Jesus' name.